G'day, this is NFL Straya. That's right, I'm your co-host, Jaymz Clements. I'm here in the studio. And on the opposite side of this here screen, a fellow top of the division dweller, as it were, still hurting from an Eagles loss on Friday and hurting probably even more from the half marathon he ran on Sunday? I don't know.
Sunday.
There you go. It's sometimes singer in a band called The Ramshackle Army, who have now been re-envisioned as some sort of synth pop AI band. He's my mate, he's your mate, it's Gaz. Gaz, what's going on?
There's been a bit going on, Jim. I'm not gonna lie. There's been so much go on since Friday. We might just skip over the first week of first games of the week, and we'll just jump straight to Sunday because I ran my first one of the year, but I ran the Melbourne half marathon on Sunday. It was pretty good. It was a good time. I couldn't, was a bit fragile yesterday and needed a bit of a nap. And then, as you said, a friend of the band says, use these new AI tools that are going to make us all redundant, Jim, and taken one of our songs and made it a synth pop banger coming to the dance floors near you. I just want the royalties of my lyrics going out there, and it's fucking weird. I've sent you the link. Have a listen to it. But apart from that, a lot of upsets this week, so I don't feel too bad. Ours was the worst, I would say, but some really interesting results that I'm sure we're going to get through.
I think it goes Billie Eilish, Chapel Roan, Gaz Byrne. Done. Let's do it.
100%.
Anyway, there you go. We're going to wrap up week 6. It's been chaotic. It's finished in a just hail of chaos with a game winner walk-off on Monday Night Football, which is pretty cool. So we're going to wrap up week 6. And as we did last week, you'll get all the week 7 preview in a different show later on in the week, which is fun, right? But in this one, you'll also get the third of the season awards because we used to do quarter season awards and now we don't have a nice clean quarter way mark. But we do have a nice clean third of the way. So we'll just do it that way. I like that. So we'll wrap all that up for you. We've got some yeah-nahs. We'll do those awards. We'll talk a little bit of fantasy because, I don't know, someone got their heads kicked in. It wasn't me. Ayo! And we'll do the weekly awards. So it'll be pretty fun. So strap in. Let's get into it. Episode 133, I think, technically, of NFL Straya because the second half of last week was 132. Let's go! This sucks, he sucks, that sucks, this whole game stinks. What are you doing watching this whole schmozzle? G'day, this is Troy Aikman, and you should not be watching this game of football right now, but you should be watching and listening to NFL Straya. All right, Gaz. I'll tell you what. Who did not like that Monday Night Football game until it got good? That was Troy Aikman. He was just out there going, this sucks. That was a horrible throw. You stink. What are you doing? Anyway, what a crazy week 6 we got, capped off as well by a pair of very, very wildly entertaining Monday Night Football games. I was just happy. I've got one on the iPad, one on the big telly, just loving the Monday night doubleheader. But hey, what a week it was. Obviously headlined by the Eagles losing to the Giants. That's the biggest headline, I think, from the weekend. Probably nothing about the Titans firing a coach. Dallas losing to Carolina.
That's an understatement. I think Eagles losing to Giants is an understatement there, Jim. But yeah.
Yeah. The big one was the Titans fired Brian Callahn. And no one was really surprised. You're like, yeah, that tracks because wow, do they look like the worst team in football. Wildly underprepared. They look like they've got absolutely no just anything going on for them. My favorite part was that his dad also went, all right, fuck that. Peace. I'm out. And they just left. And I don't think they fired him. He just went, nah, I'm out of here. I'll see you later. So Mike McCoy has been named the interim head coach, which is amazing because you might remember him from such travesties as the San Diego Chargers of the early 2010s. He was fucking horrible then, Gary. So I don't know how this is going to get much better. But anyway, it's kind of fun.
I think the weird thing about that is it's always that mentality. If you get a number one draft pick or even a top 5 draft pick, they're going to give you a chance to let them develop. So to not even get through, the first third of a season with your number one overall draft pick and then just go, yeah, nah, you're going to fucking ruin this kid.
Yeah, like it should buy you.
Yeah, it's a big call.
It should buy you 12 months grace, and this bought him like
100%.
6 weeks, and they're just like, nah, we saw enough last year where we weren't really convinced, and we thought maybe you might just be better this year with a QB who's a number one. Oh, no, you're horrible. On your bike, pal. No. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But obviously the big news this week is that Gaz and I's team have the same record.
So weird. Is there more teams in the NFL with a 4-2 record than without a 4-2 record?
Maybe. I do love this though, because I think, was it last week? It was like the first time in a calendar year that my team had won and your team had lost. And we've just gone back to back. So you little beauty. The lid is remaining firmly on to the point where I have mates baiting me, going, "Oh, geez, Jim, the division's yours now." I'm like, that's enough of that. On to Cincinnati. Like, I'm just like, fucking blinkers on. Do not care. I don't want to hear any fucking talk. But the Pats are 4-2, and I love it. Chaos in the NFC East. Chaos like everywhere else. I think, what is it, the NFC West, they're all 4-2 except for the Cardinals, who are 2-4, which is amazing. It's just a really strange situation in the NFL this week. And I think overall, and like we'll get to injury news and junk in a second, but that was like the most week six we've ever seen week 6. Like,
it's fucking weird.
Some shit games, some shit hot games, chaos everywhere, injuries, and like no one really knows what the fuck's going on anymore. Like, we kind of had, I think when we do the power rankings each week, right? Like a couple of weeks ago, we're like, Philly or Buffalo are fucking rad, everyone else is shit. And now it's like, last week it turned out, only Detroit is good. And now it's just like, yeah, fucked.
We don't know.
Don't know, mate.
We don't know.
Anyway, there you go. Other news, Zadarius Smith just retired on you guys. He just went, nah, fuck this, I'm out.
What the fuck? Here we are going, he adjusted, and Vic Fangio's going to get everyone, pull everyone together. That was a fucking joke against the Giants. Going to get some people back, going to get some pass rush, and then all of a sudden, Zadarius Smith this morning, I'll wake up going, I'm just going to retire 6 weeks into the season. I only joined the team 6 weeks ago, but sure. Right. Okay. Good times.
It's smack to me of like one of those ones where I'm like, I really need like a summer job to pay. Yep. Like, I've got some bills that I need to pay. And then as soon as he got into green, he's like, fucking peace. You suck. You're cool. You suck. Peace. And he's just out. Like, I like that. Good on him. Brian Branch got suspended for the fight that he started at the end of Kansas City, Detroit last night, which was amazing.
Yep.
Because like one of my favorite quotes of the week was simply that Juju Smith-Schuster was like, yeah, I thought he was going to come and shake my hand, and then he punched me in the face. It's like, that is incredible. Like, that's a T-shirt. Like, fucking hell. I love that. Juju Smith-Schuster just keeps on giving. Like, if it's not his bike being stolen and he's getting punched in the head by a loose cannon, who I think has now been fined or suspended like over 10 times, which is also when you've got no fucking defense like KC in the secondary and shit, like what are you doing? Fucking hell.
Yep.
Yeah, not great. The other ones were kind of like, I don't know, the Niners are getting, they like one hand, like it's full Quatza, right? Queens of the Stone Age. First it giveth and it taketh away. It's like, oh, we're going to get Kittle back and Pearsall back maybe next week, maybe even Purdy. And then they lose Fred Warner for the season.
Yep.
Which obviously fucking stinks. But
yeah.
Anyway, the other injuries, Fred Warner, obviously the ankle, like
that's huge.
It was big because he's obviously their best player. They lose Bosa. Now they've lost Warner. They didn't even show the replay of this, which is good because I don't need to see a dude's foot go sideways again. You know, I've seen enough of those now. I think where I'm like, I'm fine. I'm actually, I will editorialize myself here and make sure that I don't see that. I'm okay with it.
We're just join the dots. I know. Yep.
Trey Hendrickson left that game against Green Bay, which is cool because the Bengals' defense has been so good anyway that they probably don't need their best player. If I were him, I'd be like, oh, geez, yeah, this hammy is a bit fucking sore. Oh, yeah, wasn't it your calf trade? So, yeah, that's sore too.
Yeah, but that one, bit of that. Yeah.
Was it your left or your right? Both. Just fucking both.
Yeah, that one.
The other one, fuck. Emeka Egbuka didn't seemingly do too much to his hammy, but did enough to his hammy that they're like doubtful to return, questionable, doubtful. All right, now he's out. It sort of felt like, oh, fuck, could he go? And then he sat out. So I don't think we'll see him for a week or two at the very least. We haven't got any sort of official news, I think, about that yet. Devin Lloyd sitting out the Jags London game with with a calf. I don't know. Maybe he's just like, I don't really like mushy peas. Yeah, fish pies. I'm just not about it. Anyway, Javarius Ward. Well, there's like some amazingly bizarre fucking stories from the weekend though in terms of injuries, right?
Particularly that Colts game. Yeah.
Anthony Richardson fractured his orbital socket, had to go to hospital, got stitches because of an accident with stretching bands.
Yep.
Seriously, what? Like, is he that? I struggle to understand how you can do that so badly. Like, there's like an equipment malfunction, as they say. I don't know. I'm rehabbing my shoulder at the moment, Gary, and I've got like all the bands and shit that I got to use to fucking like fix this shoulder. I do, every so often get a bit nervous. I was like, what if that, just because I'm so fucking jerked, I snap this one in half and it just whacks me in the eye. I'm like, I don't think that'll even do it. Like, it'd take a fuckload of something to fracture your orbital socket. Anthony Richardson, just like one of the most unlucky dudes in football. But anyway.
How's Shane Steichen having to come out and make a statement on it was like, I'd be like, nah, you guys go and talk about this one. That's fucking.
I'll let him answer it. We've got video. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. It's like National Football League home videos. We vote that one the funniest home video. Back to you, Bob Saget. Javarius Ward got concussed by a teammate pre-game as well and sat out that game because he was got jumped into from behind.
I was trying to work out. I don't know who the other player was who ran into him, but I watched that video like 4 times trying to work out what the other guy was trying to do because Ward was clear. He was trying to take a pass, obviously not looking where he was going because he was watching over his head. And then the other dude was kind of, he was going sideways into him, but it's like Ward should have been in his peripheral vision. Weird.
It was wild.
All pre-game. Yeah.
So strange. And then probably the funniest injury stuff from the weekend might have go back to Thursday night where everybody went into the blue tent to check on Jackson Dart because they hated Russell Wilson so much. And even Scatterbo's like, is he okay? I need to know. And Dable's like, he took his hat off before he went in, like respectfully, like an old-timey doctor going into into a house or something. It was fucking weird. But so Dart goes in, Scatterbo went in. Obviously Dable checked. Like, you're not allowed to go into the blue tent. Like, it's meant to be like you and the doctor apparently was in there just going, what the fuck are you idiots doing? Piss off. Like, you can't do this. Fuck off. And Dable's like, I need to know if I need to call a timeout. And it's like, yeah, fucking probably. So that was pretty fun. Anyway.
Couple of the things that we didn't miss that we missed in the wrap because they really... Oh, well, there's actually 3 things worth mentioning before we get into the game wraps. One was we tried out last week the whole, we're going to record 1 episode but split it in 2. This is going to be fucking fantastic. And the thing that we were worried about, Jim, happened 2 hours after we recorded. And that was we gave a spray to the Bengals for 45 minutes about how much they hate their fans and all that sort of stuff and why don't they go and get a QB. And then 2 hours later, they go and trade for Flacco. So, he's just working his way around the AFC over there. But the other 2 that were worth mentioning is we obviously mentioned the horrible game that the Cardinals played and the fact that they lost on 2 horrible touchdowns. But Gannon confronted his player who dropped the ball, went into the end zone and got fined. Was it 250 grand he got for effectively assaulting his player on the sideline?
So I think he got fined 100 grand, and Jerry Jones
100 grand.
got fined 250 grand for flipping off Jets fans.
The other way around. The other way around. Yeah, Jerry Jones double flipping the birds. Yeah, so the NFL just went, fuck you guys. You guys are supposed to be the role models. It's bad enough that these guys are out there being loose units. Well, we can rein the coaches and the owners in.
And they're, like, I think the Cardinals thing as well, right? Like, so the news sort of kept slowly breaking over the week as well. Like, the Gannon stuff happens, but then also Kyler Murray is suddenly listed as questionable, then kind of doubtful, then he was out. So they started Jacoby Brissett, which is pretty cool. I love the brisket.
Hey, brisket.
Jacoby Brissett is like, I don't know, watching him on the Pats last year, I want to say, was just like, get him out, like, get out of here, you. I want to see Drake May. And then he finally pissed off and, here we are. But anyway, there was also the other one. I think the last bit of news that sort of popped up today was like the no Bucky Irving and no Chris Godwin, I think, for the Bucks this coming week. Even with them, they're playing the Sunday night or the Monday night game, aren't they? Which is the big one, I believe. Was it against Philly? It's against someone good. Might be the Lions. Yeah, it's kind of like this weird situation where, as I mentioned, like the Egbuka injury, the Bucks have got like no one left at this point. It's chaos. So Evans was out. Egbuka goes down. They're throwing to like Trez Johnson, like their 7th round pick from this year and shit. You're like, what the? And he was good. And you're like, I think maybe Baker and maybe the Bucks just make every receiver that goes through that fucking facility good. They play Monday, so there's another doubleheader next week. That rocks. Why is the other one so late though? There's like a 10 a.m. and a 1 p.m. game in Seattle. I guess it's West Coast, but Jesus Christ, a 1 p.m. start. Our time. Anyway, let's do some game wraps from week 6. As I said, week 6 is always like long-time NFL Australia listeners will know that week 6 to 8 is usually my favorite like period of the season, because when we lived in the States, like the hype around the first month or so of football Sundays, right, is always just crazy, and the bars are fucking packed, and it's like it's almost a little like it's great. The vibe is it's also just almost too much because there's too many fucking people in there. 6 through 8 is when it gets awesome, and it like just settles down that little bit. The bars are still booming, but they're not like fucking standing room only and shit. And you know kind of what you know about teams. And I don't know, it just gets into the real good shit, I reckon. And then, of course, a week like this happens and you're like, we don't know fucking anything. None of these teams
we don't know anything.
Speaking of which, Philly, 17, Giants, 34. You got by Timon and Pumbaa, Gaz. What's going on?
What the fuck? I don't even know when to start with this. I was glad it was first and I get to get it out of the way in the pain and move on. And I just got to watch this week. If it was happening yesterday, it would have ruined my week, Jim. It was the fucking worst. It had been coming for weeks. Eagles have been playing half games. The internal fucking rumor mill about who's doing what and who's pissed off at who. I knew the fucking bow breaking was coming, but I didn't expect it to be against the fucking Giants. The Giants, who were starting their rookie in his second game, who were down both their top 2 wide receivers. They've got a rookie running back. They've got the 30th or 31st ranked secondary. It was just fucking hectic. So we ended up just before the game, Jalen Carter sitting out. But then Quinton Mitchell goes out pretty early in the game. But even apart from that, like, Vancouver fucked up and let, like, whiff tackles. Adoree Jackson was, like, half-arsing it out there. The Giants had jumped to a lead and just had the whole vibe behind them. Like, they were just super positive, super aggressive. We could not contain Dart. Dart would just buy time and then cause chaos on his legs and with his legs. And then our defensive line just got run over by Scatterbo. Like, it was a team who for the last 3 years has prided themselves on tough guy football, the whole tush push thing. It's all about, we are just rougher and meaner and bigger than the other team. They just got run over by someone who's not going to make the playoffs, who's been one of the saddest teams over the last 3 or 4 years, and they just got taken to task, right? You know, we're down at half time, and the I can't remember who the sideline reporter was, but went up to Sirianni and went, "Oh, Jalen Hurts has been pretty he's been pretty efficient in this first half." It's like, yeah, but we've not been able to get a running game started. The offensive line is in fucking shambles. They look battered. There's a lot of disinterested looks in the last quarter on a bunch of faces. Yes, they're playing short weeks. Yes, they're hobbled, but every team is injured. So the Super Bowl hangover is fucking real, Jim. Like, these guys are fucking cooked, and I don't know what changes are going to come, but they have to come. So at this time last year, they were 2-2, went on the bye, had some internal meetings, started, Vic Fangio learnt how to use his players, and they started running the ball. There's all the talks as well, like some comments come out about us being too predictable and to get rid of Patullo, the first year offensive coordinator. And Saquon made a point this week, going, last year we just didn't give a fuck. Like, everyone knew we were running the ball, but we knew what we were doing, so we did it anyway, and it worked. And now we're kind of galaxy braining it, but at the same time, being predictable and not using our wide receivers properly. So, look, fucking more power to the Giants. They did exactly what they had to fucking do. Brian Burns had a fucking cracking game. Scatterbo was out of control. Jackson Dart was great and is showing, like, the Giants fans have got something to be passionate about, which I don't like. But you know what? Happy days. I'm gonna fucking. You gotta build it. You gotta tear it down to build it back up.
Soupies are forever. Whatever you won last year. The weird thing for me is, like, 4-0 now 4-2. It is crazy and inescapable how much seemingly Devonta Smith and AJ Brown just fucking hate Jalen Hurts. It's like, what's going on, man? Like, they just hate the dude. It's crazy, brutal. But here we are. Saquon as well. Like, I feel like this is, like, as much as folks yelled about it preseason, it's like, this is what happens if you run for over 2,000 yards in a season. The drop-off is real. It's like, yeah, no shit. And that's why, in terms of fantasy.
That's what's happening, yeah.
Fantasy, Supercoach, everything. I'm just like, I don't want any bar of Saquon. It's just like the offensive line has obviously sort of just been banged up, and here we are, Philly sitting there going, yeah, this is the part of the championship DVD when you guys go back-to-back where it's like, and all looked disastrous in Philly in week 6 after a loss to the hated Giants. And then, boom, you rattle off a bunch more wins and you're laughing. Anyway, you'll be right. Denver 13, Jets 11. If you watch this game, you are a fucking sicko. Simple as that. Like, I watched the highlights after it, and I'm like, it took like 4 minutes. It was fucked. To the point where I watched, like, they do the 40-minute breakdowns, right, through your Game Pass. And so you can watch essentially like every play. And because this game was so shit, it literally was just like, oh, there's a pass. Oh, it's incomplete. Here's another one. Oh, it's incomplete as well. Oh, here's Justin Fields getting sacked 9 fucking times and only completing 9 passes. It feels like this is an act of aggression from the USA to the UK, though, sending this game over there, right? And it's also why I didn't heed my own warning for betting on it. I'm like, look, Denver are going to win this. It's going to be fine. I'll take him at the line. She'll be I should have just taken it straight up. What am I doing? And it was so egregiously shithouse. Garrett Wilson's just like screaming at coach Aaron Glenn on the sideline at the half where they don't get a fucking playoff before the half. Like, they go through all this machinations to get it back, get the ball, and then they don't get the fucking playoff and no one knows what the fuck's going on. And that is your New York Jets. And somehow Denver only managed 13 points and only just eked out a fucking win. It was gross. The last player to have 9 sacks and 9 or less pass completions in a game was Gary.
Oh, fuck if I know.
Justin Fields, It's the same guy.
Oh.
Amazing.
Obviously, the internet is undefeated, and obviously, what happens is someone makes a funny comment somewhere, Jim, and then the rest of the internet goes, "That's pretty funny. I'm going to put a different background on that and a different photo, and I'm going to share it around." And the one that was busting around all over the internet this week was. You reading this, you had more net passing yards than Justin Fields this week, and you didn't step on a field because he had -10, Jim.
It's amazing.
-10 net passing yards. That's fucking crazy that you can attempt 17 passes, walk away with 45 yards, but end up with -10 net. And then after that, you're like, gosh, surely you got to have a lot more plays out there than 17 offensive plays. So surely they were running the ball a lot, Jim. But no, they were not. They didn't even hit triple figures on the ground either.
It is crazy that the NFL just has it feels like they've never had a good London game. Like it feels like all the weird matchups are just kind of weird and fucky, and the games are always a bit shit. So I don't know, sucked in. That's what you get for losing the War of Independence, I guess. Arizona 27, Indy 31. This game was way more competitive than anyone expected. Brisket nearly pulled it off. He looked awesome. He had over 300 yards.
He did.
He's hitting Trey McBride. I'm like, thank fuck for that, because Kyler Murray couldn't see him despite him being gigantic. That's how small Kyler Murray is. And I mean, they're trotting out these fourth string running backs and shit, bam, Knight and stuff like that. And they hung, which worries me more about Indy and their defense than just about anything else. I'm not going to give Arizona too many props. I'm just hang on a second. That Indy defense is a bit fucking suspect if that's what's happening. And they looked very, very cushy, all game. It felt like there was always something for the Cardinals to get. But anyway, Taylor finally gets into the end zone at the end. There was Warren was the first one to score as well for Indy. They just have enough talent on offense, and Danny Dimes just didn't fuck up, so they're just okay, right? They're just it's fine, we'll be fine. They hold them off, but I also kind of think that
now Indy, 5-1.
Yeah, 5-1, but I still think they can kind of be had. You sort of go, ooh, if they play someone good, what actually happens? And I don't know if the Cardinals are good. You've also got
no,
was it the Denver game where there's the weird fucky leverage call and shit like that, remember? I don't know. Indy just strike me as a bit weird, but that was a good, solid professional win. They didn't cover, but they did just win the fucking game, and sometimes that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Speaking of which, Chargers, same sort of thing, 29 against Miami 27. They actually had to pull off a massive drive with 46 seconds left to get in range for Dicker the kicker to smash in the game-winning field goal, and boy, howdy did he do. You had Vidal and was it Hampton, the backup running? Not Hampton, the, what's his name? Fucking Hassan. Why am I blanking? The other Haskins, that's it. It's all very close. Haskins. The weird backup guys for the Chargers sort of doing enough work with Hampton being out and the O-line being fucked. And the big difference here for me watching this one was simply that Juzzy Herbs was getting the ball out even quicker. They're just fucking whoop. And they had no Quentin Johnson either.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more Lad McConkey, and they just
that Lad McConkey, the last drive, that ended the game right down the sideline. Yep. Just fucking see you later.
It was awesome. He was so good. So I think it was a little bit more Trey Harris, Keenan Allen, just throwing his schlong out there, just going, check this out. What do you reckon about that one? And it's bro, you've had 27 yards. He's yeah, but it's the last ones that mattered. They got us there. He was pretty cool. And they somehow just managed to pull this out because Tua, that last drive that he had for the Waller touchdown was awesome. And you're where the fuck has this been all game? And then the Chargers, as you said, hit McConkey, and even Jim Harbaugh, after the game, he was this is the shit that the best of the best do, those sorts of drives. And I'm yes, it is. That's why I love Juzzy Herbs. That was awesome. So, weird game for both teams. I feel like the Chargers had to win this one more than the Dolphins. If the Dolphins are competitive, they keep DJ Mikey McDee's job safe-ish. And 1-5 is pretty fucking rough. But if the Chargers had lost this game and dropped to 3-3, you're oh, the Chargers are fucking shit. Pretenders, piss off. Whereas the Dolphins, we kind of know what the Dolphins are. And the fact that their defense kind
I
of...
mean, look, to be fair to the Chargers, I mean, who's left playing O-line for them? They've got they're battling off injuries right now. So, but it just proves to Miami. I think that's the reason we picked Miami, because we thought that they were so injury riddled that that at home Miami would just squeak via enough, and they fucking couldn't get the job done.
They
right?
They did. They did
I think
cover
because of that. Yeah, but I don't. That's not what keeps Daniel's job, mate. And now, the rumors being, we didn't mention it at the top, but the rumors are that, effectively next loss and Stefanski's gone, and the expectation is it'll be sought after, right? So this puts this week's game between the Dolphins and the Browns. That's the
coach off.
The next dead man walking. The next dead man walking, right?
Not bad. There you go. Anyway. But they needed that one. They're now 4-2. Dolphins 1-5, and I don't know.
Yep.
I like that. So my buddy Murph, big Dolphins fan, he's like, yeah, it used to be tank for Tua. Now we're tanking with Tua. And you're like, yeah, it's a rough one. The Patriots 25. Woo, 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 woo. New Orleans 19. Should have been a shit kicking, but the refs absolutely dogged your boys in this one, Gaz. This was, I feel like actually, and I probably could have yelled about this at the top. This felt like one of the weird, jankiest, fuckiest kind of refereeing weekends we've seen for a little bit, where there's just the Goff touchdown turnover where they're like, no. He didn't line up. It's like you've got to. It's like this arcane rule where they're like, they haven't fucking brought that up. Haven't called it since 1948 or some shit. You're like, get the fuck out of here. A bunch of the bullshit in the Pats game. We saw some shit with the.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jim. They didn't call the Chiefs on any penalties this week. So I think it must have been fine, right?
Seems above board.
No penalties at all.
Completely above board. And then I think even the Dunze touchdown today, it's kind of weird when you keep seeing really just sketchy shit called that is on the back of really big plays as well, where you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Refs?
Yeah.
Seriously. What the fuck is happening here? And it kind of kept happening this weekend. There's a couple more that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a bit fucky. And this is where I don't know if the US is kind of ready for the gambling conversation as a whole. I'm not sure if they're ready for any conversations as a whole, but yeah. And then this, because if you go on the internet and just NFL rigged, it is fucked.
Oh.
But a lot of these calls, you got to dude, are you serious? Anyway, some of the Pats ones were fucked. Stephon Diggs on the first, the massive big touchdown they had at the start. You're like, Jesus fucking Christ, can we get a break here? But the good thing was, and this is the nicest part about this game, was that the Pats were good enough to overcome that shit, whereas they definitely have not been in the last 4 years, right? That would happen, and then they would just grind to a fucking halt and die in the ass. And it felt like that might even still happen with this game because they can't run the fucking ball at all. It felt like every time they're like, hey, Ramondre, here's the handoff. And he's like, bang, I just got hit 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage again. And you're like, Jesus fucking, there's no positive yardage here. What is happening? And then Drake May just goes, fuck it, do not care. Check out this next third and long bomb that I'm just going to drop into the pocket of Diggs or Booty or someone. And it fucking rocks. He's so good. I am just fucking beside myself watching him sometimes because, I don't know, the seeds of doubt in your brain, post Tom Brady, you're sort of watching Mac Jones and Brissett and shit, you're just horrible fucking dudes. And Mac Jones has been good, but at the same time, when everything's perfect, Mac Jones is fine, right? And nothing has been perfect for the Patriots in ages. Drake May just goes, he's down there, check this out. Bang, hits him, and you fucking, the seed of doubt, the more times that he just actually rocks up and hits those dudes on those massive passes in those massive moments, this is such a fucking great learning curve to be on, right? To hit those passes when you actually need to hit them in games like this, where it's it's a week 6 game against the Saints, but you got to fucking win the game, and he did. So the Booty touchdowns are incredible. The hits to Diggs, that like two of them got it called back. It was bull fucking shit, I think, on both pass interference calls.
The push off down the sideline.
Where the point where like the fucking commentator's like, I don't see that. You're like, yeah, no, does anyone. Meanwhile, I think on the next one,
ticky-tacky, I think they call it, Jim. Ticky-tacky.
And then I think on the next one, like Mac Hollins got fucking KO'd, and there's like, no interference on that one. You're like, fucking Jesus, man.
I mean, he doesn't wear shoes. Mac Hollins,
what he gets. But
he gets what he gets.
So this is like the second game this year where it's kind of like a couple of weird fucky things go against you, but they at least won this game. They lost the Steelers game, of course.
Yeah.
But here we are. Good win, 4-2. Feeling good, feeling great. Cleveland 9, Pittsburgh 23, an absolute beatdown. The Steelers fucking just ground him into dust. This was a weird, like this just disappeared off Red Zone as well. I don't know if you noticed, guys, because I had the TV on. So jumped out of, I was down in the lounge room for this one in the morning. And I'm like, cool, iPad Red Zone, TV on, and it just disappeared. I didn't see a fucking thing in the back half of this game. After like the DK, like there was an awesome DK touchdown that Rodgers threw, and then nothing else happened on Red Zone ever again. You're like, oh, did they call the game off? Like, and it's like you look at it, it's finished. Like, fuck me dead.
Yep.
Because the Browns are shit. Dylan Gabriel's too small, and they've now lost, I think, 22 straight regular season games in Pittsburgh. Have the Browns dating back to 2003, so it might be 23 straight now, which is crazy. They have not won in Pittsburgh, apart from the random playoff game they won in 2020 in Pittsburgh. Absolute chaos.
There you
go. Dallas 27, Carolina 30. Unless, look, I think the only other little thing I want to say about Pittsburgh was Rodgers looks fine. Like he keeps looking fine and good and is doing the shit that they need him to do. The defense is super solid. Cleveland fucking suck though, and I do not know how I did not throw even more money on this because I was so nervous about the Cleveland defense against Pittsburgh, right? And against old-ass Aaron Rodgers. But it was like Pittsburgh off a bye at home. Cleveland coming back from the UK and playing in Pittsburgh. So what the fuck? How could anyone think that Cleveland were actually going to win that game? Like, I think
that first touchdown to Hayward, right? I'm fucking nervous. I've got Rodgers in my dynasty. I've had him for years. And I'm like, so I've watched a lot of Aaron Rodgers football. Some of the shit that he's trying to do now that he hasn't successfully been able to do for 3 or 4 years is scaring the crap out of me. And he's just inches away from like implosion. It just feels that it doesn't feel that confident gunslinger from Aaron Rodgers from, say, 5 years ago. So that Hayward touchdown pass, I watched that where he's moved out to the right and thrown back across his body. And from the camera angle, like the defender from the Browns defender has leapt out in front of Hayward, and he was fucking centimeters away from that being an interception.
Yep.
Right? I'm like, you can't be doing that anymore, bro. Like that's what ends up. Do you want to be sitting on the couch in January? Because that's how you sit on the couch in January.
Even the commentator was like, that's what they tell you not to do is, if you're going that way, throwing across your body to the other side of the receiver, and he's just, Aaron Rodgers defies expectation. It's like, yeah, for the minute, I guess.
Yep.
So, anyway. Sustainability is my big problem there. Dallas 27, Carolina 30, Rico Dowdle, revenge! What a game. And he's your beloved fantasy pickup as well, isn't he, Rico? So, not bloody bad.
I picked him up when Chuba went down. I picked him up, and he nearly got me over the line this week after a few other shit results from my team. But Jim, I'm not going to lie. There are a few results after I wallowed in my own self-pity for a couple of days after Friday. There are a couple of results this week that made me feel a bit better.
Yep.
When Cowboys fans had come out and about how that offense of Dallas had been playing, and don't get me wrong, like Pickens is playing out of his fucking mind and ridiculous. And do you see the highlights? Do you see where he grabs the ball and he's running down the field, just swinging the ball around.
He's palming
just hurdling. Yeah, just hurdling dudes like, I can take this guy. Like, just any which way. He's a fucking maniac. But yeah, I mean, realistically, there was the rushing game. Like Carolina just shut down the rushing game of Dallas. On the other side, Rico Dowdle was off his fucking head, and they could not stop it. When Dallas got close towards the end, and it was just like, ah, just give me the ball again, boys. Just bang, 9 yards. Bang, another first down. Just salting the clock away. And you're like, holy shit. Chuba Hubbard might be on the trade block. What have we got? Until a couple of days?
I was going to say, the Pats are in the market for a fucking running back who can actually get positive yardage, so maybe Tubes. What's going on? 183 Rico ended up with on the ground, and then another 56 in the fucking air. He was so good. It was unreal.
Fucking crazy.
And like, you're right. Like you're saying, like Carolina, home Carolina is a completely different team. We've talked about this before. When they beat the shit out of Atlanta, right? And then they got their heads kicked in by the Pats. But if they're at home, it's like a lot different. And I just didn't have the balls to be like, I just figured Dallas's offense would still be fine enough because it's that good. And Javonte Williams had 29 yards on the ground, and that was it. No one else did a fucking thing. It was crazy. I kept expecting like the one breakout big run, and it never happened. And Carolina didn't let it happen. Pickens was incredible. Like the one where he just sort of had the seam and just like went straight diagonal across the field was fucking beautiful for the touchdown. On the other side, Carolina, Ted McMillan, he hadn't had a touchdown so far in his rookie season, ended up with 2. He crushed it. Only 29 yards, but two touchdowns. He was fantastic. Great job by Carolina. Like we'll talk about the third season awards in a second, but they're up for a couple. Seattle 20, Jacksonville 12. But boy, JSN, it's amazing watching him grow up. He's so tough. Like right out of the gate, they absolutely fucking lit up Jacksonville. And the Jags, like, were obviously still in this towards the end, but Trevor Lawrence just kept doing Trevor Lawrence shit. And like the Jags, I think messy is the biggest thing about the Jags, right? It still just sticks in my brain. They're just fucking messy. Like there was the big Brian Thomas completion called back because of a fucking penalty every time. And like Lawrence was fine. But at the same time, he still got sacked 7 times. And it's like by the 4th one, he's just like, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Like it just kept getting worse and worse and worse each sack that he copped. And JSN has 162 yards. Darnold was fine. Kenny Walker, Charbonnet, they couldn't do too much on the ground against the Jags. But because they sort of put that hurt on them pretty quickly in the second quarter, right? Like as soon as they had control of the game and they scored the second like the touchdown in the third quarter, the game was over. And like the Jags just couldn't do shit. And they just kept fucking up towards the end. And it really fucked
the Seattle D-line, as you mentioned, the 7 sacks, but also 17 QB hits and only gave up 59 yards on the ground. Yeah. Like that's fucking dominant, right?
Yeah, because it was like, I think Seattle came out of the half and scored on their first drive. And it was just like, yeah, that might almost just do it. And then that was about it, right? Until I think they scored early in the 4th quarter, but they just didn't have enough shit to them. So they're so messy. And this is at home. Like, what are you doing, Jags? They're another team. So 4-2, but it feels like every win of theirs has been wildly arsey. Or they beat the Panthers. Right? They had that weird Texans game. They beat the Niners. Last week's win against the Chiefs was stupid as fuck where Trevor Lawrence falls over twice. Chris Jones just decides to give up and not chase him. And anyway, 4-2. Feels about right. Rams 17, Baltimore 3. This should have been the shit kicking of the year, and it wasn't. Puka goes out with an ankle twist, sprain, and it kind of felt like they never had much of a chance, the Ravens, but it was still only like 3 points, 3-3 in the first half. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? I've like loaded up on Puka and Devontae, and Puka goes out. Devontae didn't do a giant amount. Wasn't that threatening. It felt like they were sort of getting after Stafford a bit too. But the problem was Baltimore couldn't really run much. Outside, like Henry had 122, right? And they just couldn't do anything with it. Like that's what I was like. They just couldn't do anything with it. You're like every time they sort of get close, it's like run it into the end. Oh no! And like they'd have these like goal line stands. It's like we'll go for it on 4th and 1. Oh fuck! How are you not getting into the end zone? I'm like just a 1st and goal. I think it was in the first quarter, and it just never happened. And after that moment, like they'd run Henry, they'd run it, and then they'd get close and they'd fuck it up, and it was just all over Red Rover, and they managed 3 points for the entire game, which I'm pretty sure they got on the first drive from it.
It's definitely first quarter. Yeah, for sure.
Let's have a look.
But the fact when you're tiling, you know that it's desperation times when they're turning to Snoop Huntley, right? Like you don't do that out of choice. You do that because you don't feel you got anything left. And Cooper Rush he's not him, right? He's the guy who filled in admirably for the Cowboys a couple of years ago and had people questioning Dak Prescott's job. He's moved on, and Cooper Rush just has never been the same again.
Yeah, so they scored their field goal in the first drive, the Ravens, and then did not score again because they kept going for these 4th and 1s, shit like this, and it's just like they kept getting stopped, and it was brutal. Like there was the Flowers fumble as well at some point that just stopped them dead on another one, and you're like, dude, this is brutal. But then the Rams just sort of, took their chances when because it was 3-3 at the half. That is fucking crazy. And then they basically score the Kyron Williams touchdown after he has that sick catch down the sideline that actually gets them within there. And then they score off the turnover on the next play, basically, and the game was over. So, the Ravens. We'll talk about them again in a second. Cincinnati 18. Oh, wait. Tennessee 10, Raiders 20. This game was horrible. Like, Genty looked fine when he actually has a chance to look fine.
He kind of, come on. Like, he put up 75, but it was 3.3, 3.5. He just still doesn't have room, right?
That's exactly right. Like when he has like that
his
space. His
longest rush was 13 yards.
When he has that space, he just fucking goes and he eats it up. The problem is like the amount of times where he gets hit at basically the point of contact. You're like, Jesus, can you do something to get him some space? Fuck me dead. This was another one of those weird gambling ones this week where he, I think, had 75 yards, and then when the time he had the 75 yards, then they took him out of the game. The rest of their starters were still in. The game was not completely salted away. It's like, this is a bit fucking weird and suspect as well. Anyway, whatever. Good job, Raiders, I guess. What else we got? We got Cincinnati 18, Green Bay 27. Green Bay are fine. Like, whatever. Flacco gave him a bit of shit. Chase was vibing it. He's like, how good is it?
Started off slow. There was nothing going on in the first quarter. Like, kind of eased into that as much as he could without knowing the playbook after 3 days. You know what I mean? Got in there and then, but yeah, not really troubling the scorers too much.
Like, Chase is probably got to be happier with this because he's like, at least he's going to throw me the fucking ball. Chase ends up with a touchdown of 94 yards. But really, there was a minute there towards the end of the game where you're like, oh, remember how Cleveland came back and they were down 10-0. It's exactly what was happening in this game. They were down 10-0. Then they scored a touchdown. And you're like, oh, God, he's going to do it again. Oh, no, Green Bay scored and then ran away with it. So, Green Bay, the Kraft touchdown was fantastic. Josh Jacobs had a couple. And that was the easiest bet for me of the week. I was like, Josh Jacobs, 2+, let's go. And, Green Bay, solid without being wildly inspiring, I thought, in this one. So, whatever. Tampa Bay.
Enough. Yep.
Tampa Bay 30, San Francisco 19. This was the Baker show. The 3rd and 14 is all the highlights you need to see in this one because it was fucking amazing. He's like hitting everybody around the field. But yeah, when it all sort of stalled out and they needed him to like step up and get that down, boom, he did. Shrugs off 3 tackles basically on his way across the down marker. That was awesome. He was fantastic. Rashad White's really good again. I love that for him, which is crazy.
Yep.
He's filling in for Bucky Irving. He's like, check this out. I'm a rad. You're like, all right. But yeah, the Baker receivers, think Cameron Johnson, Sterling Shepard, Cade Otton, Tez Johnson, Egbuka, and Rashad White. It's just Egbuka goes out halfway through this game. And suddenly it's a lot of Cameron Johnson and Tez Johnson. And you're like, that's a lot of Johnsons being slung around in the field there in Tampa Bay. And it didn't matter. It was an awesome win. Mac Jones, whatever, but Tampa Bay got after him, and that's how you fuck up Mac Jones. He got sacked 6 times freak him out, give him no time and space, and this is the sort of result, right?
New England Patriots, legend Mac Jones passing to New England Patriots, legend Kendrick Bourne. It was one for the ages, Jim.
Yep. 142 yards for Kendrick
just
Bourne.
took a little while to get. It's crazy. Look, McCaffrey took a little while to get going. The injuries just keep fucking adding up for San Fran. We say it every week, but like, fucking hell, that Warner one that's the heart and soul of that defense, right? So, and he's also kind of that quarterback calling the plays, organizing, and so there's going to be a big gap. Like, it's one thing to replace a Bosa, but another one with Fred Warner, like that's next level shit, right?
And then the three big ones to finish off the week. Detroit 17, Kansas City 30. Too many defensive injuries, I reckon, for the Lions, really just reared its ugly head.
There's no one left on secondary. They got no one left in secondary. Right?
But they also had their chances. Like the Goff touchdown gets called back, as I mentioned earlier, where he basically they snap it and they throw to Goff. Awesome touchdown. And there's like some weird fucking penalty about him, I don't know, not lining up properly and some shit. Like, Jesus. But this goes to one of our old Outback Takehouses. If it's a cool enough play, put the fucking flag away. Simple as that sometimes, right? Simple. That was fucking gnarly. Let it stand. You have the Amon-Ra drop on fourth down as they're sort of getting back into the game later on too. But KC, it just sort of feels like they've gotten back into a bit of a groove, found a bit more of their identity, I guess, with Worthy back, with Hollywood Brown, Mahomes sort of just slinging it here and there, taking off when he needs to. They still, like, it feels like though the Hunt and like the rushing attack combo, right, of Pacheco and Hunt is sort of at least working a little bit better together as well. But for me, mostly, this was because the Detroit Lions played outside against a good team. And here we are. Like,
there we go.
They had a shot of Jared Goff sitting down out like on the bench later on in this game, and he just looked like it's when you turn your phone on and it's like a selfie camera and you're like laying or sitting on the couch or something. You're like, Jesus Christ, I don't look like that all the time, do I? It's like double fucking like 40 chins and shit. Yeah, you look like a thumb. Yeah. That's exactly what Goff looked like sitting on the fucking sideline. That's not a great look. Come on, Jared. Come on. They go cut to Taylor Swift, cut down to Jared Goff. You're like, I can see why she's writing songs about Travis Kelce's wood. Anyway, I think more so than anything, Detroit, I don't really read a giant amount into this because I just don't think they've got enough dudes on defense at the moment. So too holy.
No. And Worthy, look, he was he's getting back. The funny thing is you've still got that racing guy, Rashid Rice, to come back in.
He comes back this week.
Worthy looked like he was. There you go. So Worthy looked like, the speed star was once he gets going, fuck, he's hard to bring down, and you're not catching him. Kelsey is like, the video of Kelsey during the punch on at the end. The branch is like, that Kelsey's washed because old Kelsey would have been fucking in there with bells on, and Travis is just kind of sitting back there going, I wonder what's going on over there.
So
Hollywood Brown, Schuster.
I love it.
Branch.
He's like, now I'm a role model. But yeah, so Gibbs had 65 yards on the ground, and it felt like they were trying to make it happen. It's like, stop trying to make fetch happen, but they kept trying. Yeah. The weird thing for me was that Gibbs just wasn't able to, they weren't able to use him in the passing game at all as well, right? That's when he's really effective. And like Montgomery had one big sort of catch and run, and he wasn't able to run it too much either. So they did a really good job against the Detroit offense. So anyway, Buffalo 14, Atlanta 24. Yeah. Atlanta fumbled on the first play, went, oh shit, got called back, boom. Then they went ballistic and scored like 3 touchdowns in the first half. Bijan was fucking everywhere. And I loved it. I love watching Bijan. He's like one of the most fun players to watch just go off in a game in the NFL. There's probably like, 4 or 5 dudes like that. And he's like one of the top 3 fucking fun ones. And
that 81 yards, Jesus Christ, that was huge. That was epic.
he just goes down the sideline and to the point where they're calling it after, like the commentators, or was it Lewis Riddick and shit, just being like, yeah, so he was copping a bunch of shit for being tackled in the open field last week, and he's not going to cop that shit this week, is he? That was pretty fucking good.
That ain't happening again.
Drake London goes off as well. He had 140. That was unreal. Penix is, I don't know, he doesn't fill you with confidence because there were some sketchy moments down the stretch where you're like, oh, God, Buffalo are just sort of hanging around. But second week in a row, the Bills just look a bit off their feed, and you get the last drive of the game, the interception, and the game's over. But again, this is another thing where home Atlanta is a different team to like road Atlanta. But at the same time, like the Bills were at home last week against the Pats, and now they're on the road. Like Cook got 87 yards, but he never really snapped off that massive fuck you one. Palmer had a sick catch and then hurt himself coming down on the next one, I think. Keon Coleman not doing much. The offense just feels like it's a fucking grind. But it felt like a shootout at the start, and then they never scored again until like the third quarter. It was fucking weird.
Yeah, and weirdly, wasn't this the game that they announced during the week that Atlanta were going to open the retractable roof?
Yeah.
And everyone went,
love
wait, your stadium's got a retractable roof?
Yeah, Megatron's butthole. That's what it is. It's the Transformer butthole, and it's like, it is a wild thing that they actually can open it. It's like, dude, now it looks even more like Megatron's butthole. Like, what are we doing? But good on him. For a night game as well, which is like, sure. All right. But great job by Atlanta. They salted away this one with that drive in the fourth quarter, right? It was like they got the ball at 6:40. They burned like 5 minutes. It was all like 5.5 minutes. It was great. So
last stage it was done. Yeah.
Basically win the game. And then finally, Chicago, Washington, a wild game, 25-24. The Bears beat the Commanders. And I only just got over the line in my fantasy matchup with Jaden Daniels and Bill Cross-Kamara because they just kept fucking fumbling the ball, Gary. Just to each other. It's like, what are you doing? Jesus Christ. Yeah. But the Bears look like they're going to fuck them up. Commies fight all the way back. Take the lead. Looks like the Bears have completely shitted this one. And then they hold on. Drive after that turnover, disastrous turnover at the end by the Commanders. As we just talked about, Atlanta had the game salting away drive. The Commanders instead turned the ball over at home, give the Bears one last chance, and Caleb Williams drove down the field. It was pretty good. Good DeAndre Swift.
It was good.
Then amazingly, Jake Moody hit the game winner as time expires. Chaos. Absolute chaos. I think the funniest one for me was, I tweeted out, the Bears are really fucking fun when they've got momentum, but they are also the number one team that when they have momentum, they will take every single fucking opportunity to shoot themselves in the foot. Like they're Jama Red, like bang, 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 bang. It's like, oh, I love guns. Bang, 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 bang. Just shooting themselves in the foot time and time again. And as soon as I tweeted that, guess what happened? They had the fucking Odunze callback, and then they had a penalty, and then they ended up going from basically a touchdown to kicking a field goal, I think. And it almost pushed them out.
Was that a blocked field goal?
And it might have been the blocked field goal. Like it was absolute chaos. So anyway, that's a great win for Chicago in the end.
Like it made it like they were supposed to take the lead, right? And it was pissing down with rain. So you're like, all they need to do is keep control of this. They won the turnover battle 3-0, right? With a couple of fumbles and a Jaden Daniels interception. So when you look at the stats, and if you'd looked at, say, that the DeAndre Swift, the 55-yard reception that he just took to the fucking house, and you're like, the Bears should have this. They're forcing turnovers and all that sort of stuff. And then they march down the field, and as you said, penalty, and then go the field goal. And it was like one of the lowest snaps. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even a fingertip block. It was fucking halfway up the arm kind of block, to the point where he comes down and when they got within that range comfortably towards, as the clock's ticking down to 0, you're like, this is not a fucking certainty. Yeah. And then they introduced, they interviewed Caleb afterwards, and they asked him about Jake Moody, and he's like, I didn't know who he was until he came in a couple of weeks ago, and then he nailed a 70-yarder in practice, and I'm like, he'll be fine. And then you weren't feeling that after the blocked field goal in the first, you'd be holding on for dear life. But you know what? That's for the commies. Yeah, they had the opportunity, right, to at least take equal share on the top of the NFC East, and have now just kept that one game in between us and them. Although I feel like, I had some money early in the season on before the season started on the commies taking our division out, and I still think that's the smart money in the long term.
Interesting. I felt for the Bears, this was like, we've talked about this before, like the wins that they've had this year, like they lose those games. Otherwise, now they're feeling pretty good. So good on them. And the commies, I think more than anything, they're kind of just happy, I think, to see Jaden Daniels like scampering around and doing his shit. And like, it's the sort of thing you can build on. Because they didn't have Scary Terry. They've got like kind of, like, who's he throwing to? Like Chris Moore and shit. You're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's do some quick nah. We got one from Matty O. Are the Bills semi-cooked? Yeah, nah.
I think the thing is that their division is now no longer a walkover, right? I'm not saying that you guys are there yet, Jim, but you're only 1 week away from the lid well and truly being off. So
I know how
you're holding it together, mate. You're holding it together.
I know how easy our schedule is. So the lid will stay firmly on, I think, because if we fuck up any of these like relatively easy-ish kind of games in this soft-ass schedule, then, the lid, having been off, is hard to put back on. So I'm keeping it firmly placed on top of it at the moment, because some of these games, if we fuck any of them up, you're like, oh, really, bro? But just keep winning the games you're meant to win. That's all I care about. Whereas the Bills, I think you're sort of seeing this weird fuckiness, like especially on defense, right? We know that you can run on them. We saw, Ramondre had like 2 touchdowns last week against them, but even without the rest of the Pats really doing too much damage on the ground. But Bijan fucking tore him up. Algiers ripped off like 22 yards on that first touchdown, like just like it was fucking nothing into the end zone. Like it was crazy. Yeah. So if I was a Bills fan, there's myriad sort of problems where you've got the offense is just, it never feels like it's in a proper flow unless Cook is like absolutely cooking. And then that means Josh Allen can do his shit. But it feels like he's also under a lot more pressure than he has been in the past. Like these last couple of weeks, it feels like he's always scampering. And that's where you have like the fuck ups, the problems, the turnovers and shit. So yeah, semi-cooked is probably a bit rough because I think they're still really good and I think they'll be fine.
Yep.
So I'm going to go, nah, not semi-cooked. Because like, the Pats have got an easy schedule, but the Bills play most of the same teams. So yeah, I think they'll be right. Should the Ravens tank? That was a good one that popped up across the radar. Yeah, nah. I'd say fucking maybe at this point.
Well, I know it's fucking hard. Like, we're only a week removed from us saying they've still got a shot, right? Like, as we said, we talked about the Steelers and we're like, they're not a dominant team, so they're doing enough. So they only have to drop a couple. I know it sounds ridiculous because it's 5-1, right? Oh, sorry, 1-5. And when you're looking down that list of injuries. Awuzie, fucking, you've got guys out like obviously Lamar, Roquan. Like there's just some really Stanley. You got some fucking some big names there, but you're like, they've still got the talent there. That a couple of those guys back. Lamar could go on a bit of a run because he's going to be rested for everything else except that injury. And you go, fuck, they could go on a tear here and make a push for at least the division. But probably, there's some good teams with a record above them that they'd have to catch for a wild card. But you know what? The Steelers dropping a couple and all of a sudden they're back in the hunt. So I don't know. It might be a bit premature for a tank if Lamar can get back in the next couple of weeks. It sounds ridiculous that a 1-5 team could still be talking playoffs, but this is where we are in that division at the moment.
They still have 5 more division games. So they beat the Browns in week 2. They kicked the fuck out of them. And then, so they've still got 2 games against the Bengals, 2 games against the Steelers, including the last week of the season. So I don't think they're quite dead yet. So
There you go.
You'll hear people,
No.
you might even hear someone like an idiot like me say, geez, maybe you should trade Derrick Henry to the Pats. That'd be nice. But also, like, they're not going to do that. They're not going to tank. They'll be fine-ish. But I don't know. If they lose the Bears game after the bye, if Lamar is back with and they lose that game, I think that could almost be cue in the rack time and go, right, yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah.
They then play at the Dolphins, at the Vikings, at the Browns. So that could get pretty messy pretty fucking quick. And finally, are the Bucks the best team in the NFC, Gaz? I mean, I've got to do these power rankings later this week. I think I might have to have a complete tier at the top of it just saying they've got that shit to them and it's just the Bucks because they might be the best team in the NFC.
I mean, if you think about the fact that everyone's excuse for dropping games is this section, this part of our team's really injured. We've got no secondary left. No, the Lions, it's the secondary. For us, we're blaming the offensive line. But fucking the Bucks are one of the most injured teams in the league, right? And they just still, Baker has got that dog in him that just keeps squeaking out the wins.
Yep.
So right now, if you think that a few of these people, Ibuka comes back, Godwin comes back, like a few of these players, Bucky Irving, and like all of a sudden you're like, fucking hell, that's formidable if they can do this right now. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, right?
They're the only 5-1 team in the NFC.
Yeah.
The only other one is the
Who did
fucking...
they lose to, Jim?
That is amazing.
An Eagles team that was holding on for dear fucking life. Yeah.
Amazingly enough, the Colts are the only 5-1 team in the AFC. But anyway, let's do some third of the season awards. Third of the season, third of the way through the season. Give me some ideas here, Gaz. MVP. Am I right to give it to Baker? I think I have to give it to Baker, then Danny Dimes, then Dak, then Josh Allen, then probably Mahomes at fifth.
What's really holding Dak back is his record on the back of that defense, right? Because when you're playing from behind consistently and you know you're in a shootout, you're just padding stats. I mean, look at fucking, Burrow was doing it constantly because that defense is fucking woeful. Yeah, kind of. I don't know if Danny Dimes is up there in an MVP conversation, but I don't know who else to compare to. So I feel like Baker's kind of feels like he's standing alone at the moment, right?
Yeah, that's why I've got him there because I feel like
from an MVP point of view.
You think about the first third of the season, who's done more to get their team where they are? And I don't think anyone's topping Baker at this point. So, Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to give that one to probably Hutchinson. The rest of the list is all pretty interchangeable for my liking, like Micah Parsons, Will Anderson, Garrett, Jonathan Simmons. Like Jonathan Simmons is out there just like a one-man wrecking crew by himself. It's like, just get this man some help. A couple of other names floating out there.
I think that the Micah one's annoying me because that's where the popularity contest component comes in, right? Like his stats on the board are not amazing. Like he didn't put up much in terms of this game this week. But they're also talking about it's not what he does. It's the impact that he has around allowing other people's players to be freed up and all that sort of stuff. And you're like, yeah, cool, but impact and being a good teammate doesn't win you this award. Right, so I wouldn't consider him that, but Aiden Hutchinson has been pretty fucking.
Nick Benito is the other
pretty
one.
Strong point.
Casa Benito on the Broncos, he's been fucking real good. Brian Burns obviously has been really good too.
He's been good.
Crosby's in the same thing as Jonathan Simmons, right? It's like it feels like it's just him. Just like, please give me some help.
That's the entire defense.
Yeah. Offensive Player of the Year. It's probably up until he got hurt this week. It was probably Puka, and now it's probably Jonathan Taylor. Maybe tied with Bijan.
Bijan's not like
exactly
not that far behind.
McCaffrey and JSN probably round out that top five, I reckon. It's a good one.
Yeah, McCaffrey's really interesting because he's also got the comeback player. Like to be that high on both on a team that's injury ridden is pretty impressive.
Yep.
He's not bad at football, mate.
Least valuable player. That'd be Russell Wilson, who got booed vociferously for the one play that he was in by his home crowd. One play.
Yeah.
It was a horrible throw. He was rightfully booed. It was fucking hilarious. And then he sat his ass back down.
Yeah.
That is your least valuable player of the year, I think. Ahead of
100%.
Ahead of Gino, who's out there just trying to set interception records, and Tua, who is currently throwing all of his teammates under the bus, going, motherfucker, we've got dudes who are rocking up to not even rocking up to player only meetings. They're rocking up late to player only meetings. I fucking hate. They're all idiots. What are we doing? To the point where his coach is like, yeah, Tua probably shouldn't say that shit out loud in front of you guys.
Nah.
Yeah, that was his bad. Sorry about that. Not a great, MVP candidate there, Tua. Thank you. Offensive rookie of the year. That was probably Igbuka before he got hurt. Tyler Warren, Genty, Scatterbo and Dart, Timon and Pumba.
Yeah. Genty's not been as impactful as I'd hoped. Earlier, like I'd chucked some dollars on him before the season, but not as impactful as I'd hoped. Igbuka for sure. Scatterbo's all of a sudden a dark horse because he's like that. We're only a couple of games in, so we'll see how they ride out the season. But yeah, it's wide receiver class is pretty good.
Yeah, you've still got, Matthew Golden finally broke out. I didn't actually mention him in the Green Bay one. He had a really nice... He actually saved Jordan Love's ass a couple of times too, so good to see him actually doing some shit. Defensive rookie, it's probably Jihad Campbell, your man, Abdul Carter.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Carson Schweschinger on the Browns. And
one of the problems you're going to have with, we talked about this way back at the beginning, but players like Abdul Carter, you're on a line with Thibodeau and fucking Brian Burns, and you're out there, and same with Jihad Campbell's out there with a pretty strong linebacker core that won a Super Bowl last year. So it's hard to stand out when you've also already surrounded by good players. But yeah, they've been both playing pretty fucking well.
Yeah. Comeback player of the year, Aiden Hutchinson again there, I reckon. Dak Prescott, maybe 2, McCaffrey 3. It's probably how I'd rank them so far. I don't know. I feel like in comeback player, they've sort of tried to define this a little bit more. But I feel like they should define it even better. It's like, how bad was the shit that you're coming back from? Because it's kind of like this nebulous, adversity. He came back from adversity and some sort of injury. It's like, Hutchinson snapped his fucking leg. Dak had some weird fucky shit going on his feet. And McCaffrey had a fucked Achilles. It's all kind of a bit even-ish, but I feel like McCaffrey's might have been worse than Dak's possibly. And I feel like Hutchinson's probably worse out of all of them. It's kind of like, wasn't it Flacco came back from just being old and played good again at one point? It's like,
I think that's the most important thing, is the top 3 people that we're talking about have actually come back from literally a physical reason they were out of the game for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Not that they've just come back from being shit, like when Gino did it, right? You were terrible for years and now you had a good season. Well, you're a comeback player. No. I don't think I can't get behind that.
Yep. The protector of the year, that's probably Penei Sewell. He's sort of doing a lot of work on that O-line. Maybe Jordan Mailata. Yep. But I think the real winner of the protector of the year should be the national media when it comes to Kansas City. Because you can't actually... I don't know if I've heard anyone say a bad word about Mahomes yet. And he'd been a bit shit through the first 6 weeks. Last couple of weeks, a little bit better. But yeah, you don't hear a bad word about them. It's pretty crazy, pretty weird. Coach of the year, Shane Steichen. I probably got at 1. I probably got Vrabes at 2.
No.
I had Dan Campbell at 3 before, I wrote this one yesterday before they lost. I probably put Todd Bowles ahead of him now. Then probably I had Liam Cohen maybe rounding out the 5 before they got their shit pushed in at home yesterday. So, I don't know. It gets a little bit trickier. Maybe Ben Johnson, because the Bears aren't a fucking train wreck. And, just to say that sentence out loud is pretty crazy.
I think, look, I don't think Ben Johnson gets it because... the expectations of the wonderkind going over there with his whole strategy and blah, blah, and you've got surrounded by high draft picks on your offense, and kind of the expectation was there. So to be at least mediocre is kind of the floor. Whereas I think what Shane Steichen's been able to do by the turnaround in this team by adding someone like Danny Dimes, who was effectively a reject whose career was over, and like, oh, what a joke that you're picking him up to replace, a first round in AR-15. Like, I think what he's been able to do is pretty fucking ridiculously impressive.
Yep. I'll pay that. I had this written down, coach most likely to get fired, and then they fired Brian Callahn, who was my number one pick. He's already gone, so he's the winner.
Yep.
The next one is DJ Mikey McD. You actually mentioned Stefanski as well, right?
Apparently he's the fucking, like, odds on that he's going to get the ass.
The other ones I threw out there was obviously like Sean McDermott. Like, at some point, the Bills are going to be like, it's the same shit every time. The other ones were the funnier ones too. Aaron Glenn and Pete Carroll, both in their first years. If the teams went, we fucked up. Yeah. Nah, let's move on. This is fuck. Especially Pete Carroll. They're like, oh, wait a minute. He is like 73. Shit. Ugh. Here's that old man walk as well, Pete Carroll. Like, oh, God, Jesus. It's like, yeah, because he's fucking in his 70s. Like, what are you doing? Oh, he's going to change the culture. Doesn't look like it's fucking changed. You're still the Raiders and still shit. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
The Aaron Glenn thing as well today, or this week, was just fucking hilarious because he's like, what sort of question is that? About like, hey, is Justin Fields going to be your starting QB next week? It's like, I think it's a pretty fucking fair question because the dude had 9 completed passes this week. And as you alluded to, Gary, negative net yards.
Negative 10 yards.
Yeah. So his entire thing was meant to be, I'm a defense dude. And like the stats since like they fired Robert Salah last year, the defense has been a fucking train wreck for the Jets. Like, what is going on? So anyway, and then my favorite one is probably coach who saved their job the most in the first third of the season. Shane Steichen, clearly. Might go on to win Coach of the Year. Brian Daboll, boom. Just by beating the Eagles, he saved his job for the year, I reckon, right?
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, because I'm like, look, mate, he's been on the very fucking edge. But I don't want to read too much into this, and I'm not using this to slam my team, but we were on a knife's edge of imploding for fucking weeks. The Giants had played like not well the couple of weeks before it. So I'm not going to give too much credibility to them. They surprised us. They came out fucking awesome, but let's pump the brakes. They still might only win 2 or 3 more games for the rest of the year. And if you Daboll and they don't see improvement from the rookies, like, once again, what we said at the beginning of the year, by taking a first round rookie, he's bought himself a season.
Yep.
So let's see how we go.
I like that. And the other one was obviously Dave Canales. So we mentioned the Panthers. Home Panthers is a different team. They are quite literally, they're currently 3-3. Their home record is 3-0. Their away record is 0-3. They are a completely different team. But that win over Dallas, I think that's just like that massive one for him where he's like,
fuck yeah, what a scalp.
The sheer fucking relief on that dude's face after that win was crazy. So
yeah.
There you go. There's some third of the season awards. Quickly, our weekly awards, Good Bloke of the Week. Are we buying a beer? You got to give Rico Dowdle another one. The Revenge. Yep. Amazing for him. Jake Moody. Bloke got cut. Comes in for Cairo Santos. In the wet. Kicks the game-winning field goal as time expires. That was fucking huge. And he looked cool as a cucumber doing it as well. I'm like looking at this just like, oh, fuck. Like, what a stressful minute for all Bears fans out there.
The interview, I don't know if you heard it. So they interviewed him after Caleb, and like they were just talking to him, and it was like, oh yeah, he was pretty good. Like I was just, it was just real like fucking nonchalant and quiet. I'm like, Jesus, dude. Fucking, yep, okay.
Dick of the Kicker had a game winner as well. That was pretty good by him. He fucking nailed that too. Drake May. I didn't actually mention this one earlier, but he joined Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, and Dan Marino. As the only QBs who are 23 and under with 200-plus passing yards and 100-plus passer rating in 5 straight games. That's pretty fucking good. And he's also like the only Pats QB since Tom Brady just to be any good. That's an official gym stat, that one.
There you go. So adding to that, look, I don't want to or have to buy them a beer, but I think you have to mention Jackson's Dart and Scatterbo because neither of them are going to have to buy a beer in New Jersey for the next fucking 20 years, right?
One of my bugbears still
CTE
as
is
well.
coming on strong. What are they saying? That Scatterbo is going to have the best 3-season career before he retires and doesn't walk again.
Yep. He's got a touch of the CDs. The CDs.
Yeah.
One of my bugbears still as well, though, like old mate, no mates, is when the Giants or the Jets play at home, can we not do the Manhattan skyline? Like, dude, they're in Jersey. Do you know how far you have to catch a train to get to that fucking stadium from Manhattan? It's a really long way. Like, fuck off. Anyway, flog of the week, old mate, no mates, obviously Tua, as I mentioned before, throwing his teammates under the bus, going, yeah, dude, we've got players here who aren't rocking up to player-only meetings. It's like, okay. Some of them are late to play. He just kept doubling down. You're like, Tua, I don't think your guys are going to appreciate this. They asked some other dudes after it as well, and they're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't say that sort of stuff outside the locker room. It's like, yeah, fucking hell. That team is fucked. Myles Garrett, old mate, no mates. I'm going to put Rodgers in the graveyard, man. He had 0 sacks and 0 solo tackles this week against Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty good. Everyone on the Jets. Garrett Wilson trying to fight Aaron Glenn at halftime, being, what the fuck was that? How do we not get a playoff, you idiot? And just imagine that plane ride home for that Jets team. That's just, it really doubles down on the bus ride from the stadium back to the hotel, old mate, no mates fashion.
Yep.
The plane ride home is like a million times worse.
That's got to be tough work.
Jesus. And the Packers, they called a fucking timeout when McPherson kicked the record-setting 67-yard field goal. Jerks.
Oh.
The fuck is that? He
bastards.
nailed it. Bastards. That's old mate, no mates. Outback Takehouse, we kind of hit on this one earlier. The Ravens are still going to win the AFC North. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I doubt it. It all depends on how far away Lamar is. I know they weren't amazing before he left, but yeah.
Love that.
You got to go with yes.
Good job. The Pats should trade for Derrick Henry or Breece Hall or fuck it, Garrett Wilson. I don't really care, but a running back would be nice for the Pats. Chuba Hubbard. Hello. You are a Patriot. One from Murph. I enjoyed this one. He's just like, Drake May is a better shot at beating Mahomes in January before Josh Allen. And I'm like, that's bait. That's bait. Fuck you, Murph. I'm not answering that. That's bait.
Nice. I like it.
That's bait. Little Aussie Battler of the Week. We actually had the Mick Dixon Seattle experience. We had Torrey Taylor, obviously, in prime time today, as well as Mitch Wish, which is kind of fun.
Booting in the rain. Yeah.
I think both Mitch Wish, so on Buffalo, and was it Crawshaw on Denver? Big days. I think they both had 6 punts because those games were fucking pretty crazy. So, not bad. I think Crawshaw had a ripper of a day too. I think his longest was like 62 or something. Just an Aussie hanging out in London, sinking tins, going out there kicking the ball around. Not bad. And we'll wrap up this show until we get to the Week 7 preview on Thursday with a little bit of Captain Fantasy. I managed to go to 4-2 this week. Big win thanks to Jaden Daniels and Bill Krosky-Merritt right at the end. Just managed to limp over the line. I was feeling pretty bad because I'm like, I didn't think about Daniels versus Danny Dimes, who sat on my bench, and he had 23. And I believe I was trailing by 23 today. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'd already be in the clear at this point if I just started. Anyway, but Jaden Daniels scored 22 in the end, so that was all right. And I just got over the top of Brett. So that was good, the tush pushes. So that moves me to 4-2. A lot of the league is around sort of that 4-2, 3-3 spot. And Gaz, despite...
Yeah, I didn't have a good one.
Despite Tavis...
kept me close.
Tavis 6-0 now because he even lost Puka and Garrett Wilson doing his hurting his knee a bit. And he still kicked the shit out of you. So, yeah.
Yeah. I ended up... I was reaching for that... I was reaching on the free agents to have a quarterback. I ended up with Mac Jones because they had both Stroud and Purdy out, and I'm just trying to cover positions at the end there. So yeah, my team's not looking great, Jim. Not gonna lie.
Nice. We'll cover.
shoot the guy who drafted that for me.
I don't know. Yeah, jeez. I don't know. The fact that like I still keep looking back at those first couple of rounds and going, oh shit. The dudes that I was like thinking, oh well, maybe I should have taken Derrick Henry for Gaz there. He's been pretty fucking bad anyway, right?
Nah, that's it. The whole thing. All the wide receivers have not been great. Like as in the top 4 or 5, apart from people like McCaffrey. But if you look at Desert Henry and Saquon and it's up the top there. It's been early picks of the draft, injuries going down. It's been pretty fucking brutal.
Nice one. And obviously Supercoach, we cover all of that on Jim Does Supercoach, but I think it literally just finalized then. I'm still ranked in the top 1% for NFL Supercoach, which is fucking rad.
Wow.
340 overall. That's really good. Despite a little bit of a weird week where I only scored 495, but that's like the weird thing where if the other top ranked players as well have, those similar underperformers, like if your points of difference to those guys are, doing pretty well, like I've got Jackson Smith and Jigba and George Pickens and stuff, and they're probably 20% owned, 30% owned versus like a Puka Nakua who everybody's got and only managed 7 points this week. Or a Dunze is this massive cash cow, only managed 8. The big problem for me this week was bringing in Javonte Williams and being like, this would be awesome. He scored 11. And I thought I was like, I galaxy brain myself. I'm like, I'll actually sit Jahmyr Gibbs up against KC and put Javonte Williams on the field. Turns out that was could have been a horrible mistake after the Williams game when he had 11. But Gibbs only managed 14 points as well. So it's a little bit of a fucking dodged a bullet moment. So, yeah, feeling pretty good. But, yeah, ranked, what did I say? 340th overall. That's fucking good. So make sure you listen to Jim Does Supercoach. I don't know what to tell you. We're doing pretty good. It's pretty fucking good. So. All right. We'll finish off this one here, and then you can hear the rest of the picks on the Thursday little dip-in episode. So that's it for episode 133 of NFL Straya. Spoiler alert, though, I did beat Gaz by, I think, the 3 different picks we had this week. I managed to nail all 3 of the different ones. So I've pulled back within 2. Let's fucking go.
Okay.
Because, I think because if you go back, the Friday videos of the picks, I ended up siding with you about the Raiders, which was lucky.
Okay.
Initially, we had that one different. But I nailed Seattle over Jacksonville. I had Atlanta over Buffalo, which was my big call of the week. And there was what was the other different one we had? Oh, yeah, Detroit, KC. I had KC in the end, I think. That's right, because I think initially we had KC, both of us, but changed. No, we both initially had Detroit. I changed it to KC on the Friday video, just screaming, where are they playing? It's Detroit, outside. I want no bar of it. So we'll have all the Week 7 picks for you on the little quick hitter on Thursday, so check that out. Make sure you get around all of the stuff that goes up on the YouTube. We've got all the power rankings, all the picks, the Thursday Night Football preview, all that good stuff. It's been awesome to sort of see some of that pop off, so appreciate it. Get around us on the rest of the socials as well. TikTok, Facey, Twitter, IG. We're everywhere. That's what we do. Check us a rating review on your podcast app as well. What are you doing if you haven't done that already? Fucking seriously. Rate, review, star, comment, like all that sort of shit. Not asking much. Jesus, you know how this works at this point. It's 2025. Big thanks always go to House Hats for the intro and outro song, They Rule. Also, I don't know, go listen to Jim Does Supercoach. NBA Straya is back with a vengeance now as well. All the preseason stuff, the season preview gear is going to go up this week. We've got win total over-unders. I fucking love a good win total over-unders episode. We're doing East and West this week. That's going to be pretty good. You can also sign up to the Buy Me a Coffee for NBA Straya, where you get access to the exclusive specific Dead Set Legends Club. Put up a new episode of that yesterday as well. So go check that out. You get exclusive shit. It's very fun. Gaz, you got any plugs?
No, just our normal cheesesteak chipping. Get in early this week. We'll always, post it on Thursdays, and it's a mad scramble. I do it myself. Get in early. Get in on Thursday morning. Get your chips in, and win a free cheesesteak on Gino.
I was going to say, how did I go this week? I think I did really well this week.
They haven't announced. I don't know. I don't even remember who I picked, but they haven't announced the winners yet. So Gino will do that tomorrow and head out.
Because, I remember like putting in my tips and
Follow them
going,
on the socials.
I'm like, oh, geez, Buffalo, shit. All right, geez. Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with my guts and go Atlanta. Anyway, there you go. Episode 133, Dunskies. You'll hear all the Week 7 picks on Thursday. So we'll catch you in a bit, you dickheads.
See ya.
Later, hosen.